everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Teo and I would like to thank you for stopping by to check what I've been knitting or designing or different things that I share in this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Also, you can find me on Instagram at TeoMakes, also on Ravelry at TeoMakes. I have Facebook page TeoMakes, so pretty much everywhere is TeoMakes. I have an Etsy shop where you can buy my patterns as well as Ravelry, because I'm thinking maybe some people don't have Ravelry and they can purchase a digital download on Etsy. So lately I've been trying to upload the patterns there as well. So yeah, that's the introduction. So for the next part, we're gonna look at what I have finished. So here are the things that I finished, and I've been spending the last week or so just going through my leftover yarns. So if you've seen my Instagram posts or maybe my previous video, you know that I've been knitting quite a lot of socks because I have a lot of little leftover balls of yarn from different like shawls or tees or anything. Like I've got some of this yarn as well. This is 100% alpaca by Knit Crate and it's Ancient Pines. This is my Siwani tee. It has this lace detail at the bottom. There you go. And it's kind of like a boxy fit with short fitted sleeves. So yeah, I've had quite a few different colors and also some mohair, and I made some socks, so I'm going to share those with you first. I've just published a pattern for these socks, and also I filmed a video tutorial with step-by-step like different stitches, how to cast on, working the little cuff. These are short socks, by the way. German shawl rose, heel, and also tapered toe with the Kitchener stitch. So if you would like to knit these, go into the description down below and get your pattern, and then go to my previous video and you can learn how to knit these socks. And I have them in 3 colors. Yes, I know, 3 colors. And I'm planning to make a green version as well because I've got some of this yarn. This one is knitted with Malabrigo sock held double with a mohair. And they are very fluffy and very soft. I've knitted a Tenya tee with this yarn, so this is what I've got left over. I just had like 2 little balls left over, and I paired it with mohair and knitted these ones. Then I've knitted, I think about a year ago, if not 2 years ago, I've knitted a scarf with a slip stitch. What's the name of Jasmine scarf by Pearl Soho. In a 1-ply fingering weight. Like it has these different blues in it, and again I held it with mohair. Let me just show you one. So I've done the ribbing and the heel here. You can see better the variegated yarn in the heel. Yeah, so that is the second pair. And when this is the first pair I made. When I finished it, I realized that I still had quite a bit of yarn left. And then I found some other different little skeins, like this one here. I think, yeah, this is a 1-ply as well. And I've knitted my pimento shawl, this color, this greeny color with like little burgundy specks in it. So I had a little bit left, and I've done a toe up. These are toe up using provisional cast on, and then so provisional cast on here, and then German shawl rose and then joined in and striped all the colors that I had. So I had some variegated yarn and some just like blue fingering weight yarn. So I made these ones. Again, they're shorties. I did a little bit of slip stitch here to keep the shape, and then one by one rib to finish it with, obviously German short row heel. I always said that my preferred method to knit socks is the heel flap and gusset, but I've been knitting most of my socks lately with German short row, and it's so easy, and I find that it fits well. It doesn't have the most amazing look, like, you know, when you see the gusset, the heel flap and the gusset, and it's got like more a decorative design for the heel. But these are practical, and I just knitted these to wear around the house every day, so I wasn't that bothered on, you know, the looks of it. I just wanted them to be comfortable. So these are my 3 finished socks, and I also have one on my needles that I'll show you in the second segment of this video. Yes, then, so I was, at this point, I've ordered yarn for Altogether Sweater by Jorge Locatelli, and I'm still waiting for it. I'm hoping it will come today or tomorrow, because I really want to cast on to be able to wear it all through the British summer, because sometimes it gets cold, like today, it's a gloomy day. I've ordered merino cotton blend, quite light fingering, so I can knit it more like a loose gauge that drapes, but also works nice with the color work. I'm hoping the colors will work together, because I didn't go with the recommended yarn. I went to get a different kind of yarn. So yeah, I'm still waiting for that. But while I was waiting for that, I went into my stash and I said, I need to knit something. So yeah, I knitted. I had some organic nettle onion yarn with nettle fibers, 2 skeins. I bought it on Wild and Woolly website. It was the first time I knitted with this yarn, and I wasn't sure what to expect. Obviously, you're thinking wool combined with nettles, so it would have a little bit of a linen-y feel, I was thinking. But I mean, look at that stitch definition and look at that beauty. I knitted this in 2 days. I haven't got the pattern written for it yet, but it's a girl skirt. That's what it looks like. It's got a drawstring. Let me just draw it a little bit so you can see a bit more of the skirt. It's so it's knitted top down with a picot folded waist, and then inside the waist you put an I-cord. An I-cord cord. And then you do increases and increases again, and it finishes with this beautiful lace at the bottom. And I wanted, because this is not a baby, it's not a baby skirt, it's more like a toddler to, oh, maybe 2 to 3 years old. This is the smallest size. So I mean, I can write the pattern for a baby as well. I created it more thinking of like 2, 3, 4-year-olds children, girls. So I wanted it to be stockinette to cover, and then just have a little lace at the bottom. It can be worn with leggings, but it's really nice for the summer. It's very drapey, as you can see, and airy. So I haven't got a name for it yet. I've got notes for the pattern, so I'm going to write it at some point, and I will try to make it from maybe 1-year-old up. But I'm not making any promises, because I have quite a lot of things to do these days, and yeah, I might go back to work soon. So my time of knitting will come to an end. But that is the children's skirt that I knitted with the onion yarn. Then I went in my stash and I had 4 skeins of this beautiful soft knit crate yarn, and I can't remember the content. I will link it down below, this yarn. I think they still have it on their website. I wanted to make a thick jumper with it, but I knew I wanted to make Fair Isle, like stranded knitting, and I thought it might be a bit too thick. And I already have my Favos sweater, which is quite chunky, and I've got a couple more. I've got a Sea Change, I think, by Jennifer Stengas, and I didn't want to make too many because I don't really wear them much. I mean, it doesn't get that cold here in the UK that I need to wear such a heavy garment, but I wanted to make a scarf because this is the softest yarn that I've ever had, and I made this loop. So it's knitted as a tube with the provisional cast on, and you can see where it is if I can find it, because you see a little bit of the seam, yeah, a little bit of the seam here. So provisional cast on, knitted in the tube. It took quite a while to do, but the pattern is really easy to follow, and it's squishy and thick. It took like 4 days to dry, but it's blocked and it's very long, so you can wrap it around twice and still have a little bit of you know, room. Obviously you can make it as a scarf, so if you don't want to seam it together after you finish with the tube, you can just seam the ends and make it into a scarf. I wanted it as a cowl though, so here it is, very fluffy and very warm. It's going to be so nice in the winter for commuting. But yeah, this is another design that is in the works. I didn't write the pattern for it. I have all my notes, so maybe later in the year when we're getting ready for winter, but now we are getting ready for summer, so we don't need to knit these heavy scarves. It's quite heavy. There it is. I love it. And I also had these 2 skeins of sugar, I think it's called sugared yarn from Knit Crate, and I knew I wanted to make something more elegant, more like formal, but also I wanted to design something that you can use the yarn to make it into a formal, like a more going out garment, or if you need a cotton or a linen, if you need with a cotton or with a linen, or with like a very fine merino, you can make it into like an everyday t-shirt. And this was the first time when I've done something with a yoke, and I think it turned out all right. I mean, I like it. This is quite a larger size. I've knitted it for someone else. But as you can see, it has a garter little edge here, and then you can see the increases. I like that you can see the increases. And then when you get to the, before you separate the body and the sleeves, you make this garter edge here so you can make cap sleeves. And I've done this technique on my Dara dress, like the baby dress. I have a video for it. I've done the same technique here, so you don't have to pick up stitches and knit at the end, and then reinforced the underarm with the crochet hook to kind of make it more sturdy, because here you have like a very flimsy cast on when you cast on your stitches for the underarm. So I knew I needed to reinforce that, so that's what I've done. But the most amazing part of this tee is the bottom. So we finish it, it goes down, let me put it on like this. So it goes down to like under your bust area, and from there you change and knit this beautiful lace that ends with kind of like a scalloped edging. I think it's amazing. I really, really like it. Again, I have notes for this, so I will be writing a pattern, but not yet. I mean, soonish, because this is more like a summer top, isn't it? This is just amazing. I love it. And I'm so happy with the way it turned out. One more thing. So for the sleeves, I did a little fold, like a decorative fold for the sleeve. So the sleeve, I was thinking more to make the sleeves gather, but then I thought that this like little fold will look nicer. You can't really see it. Will look nicer up here on the sleeves. So I've done that because I would have had to do decreases to shape the cap sleeve, but this way was easier, and I think it looks nicer. You could even put a button here to make it nicer. So yeah, those are all my finished projects. Loads. So this is what happens when you order yarn because you're so excited to cast on for something, and then the yarn takes forever to come. You just end up using your stash and creating things. So in the last 2 weeks, I think it was 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I'm not sure. In the last, let's say 3 weeks, I went into my stash and I made a children's skirt, a nice chunky cowl, a tee, and lots of socks. I don't need any more socks, but I'll probably be knitting more socks. Yeah, so in the next segment, we're going to talk about things that I have on my needles now. Okay, now I want to show you what's on my needles, and I have 3 things on my needles. One of them is a pair of socks, obviously, and I'm hoping is the last pair of socks I'll be knitting for a while. And these are the cloud socks. So I have 2 pairs here, and this is my 3rd pair. And I'm knitting this one in, I don't remember what this yarn is, but I had a little leftover and I can't figure out what I knitted with it. I'm thinking maybe a pair of socks for someone that I gave away because I don't have the finished project anymore. But this yarn for the toe and the one for the heel, these 2, I use them for my Vitrali shawl. And you can see what difference the mohair makes when you pair it with. So I have this taupe mohair that is left over from my Favo sweater, and I paired it with the yellow and with this stranded color from my Vitrali shawl, and it made this. These are all, again, leftover little skeins that I had, hanging around here. Every time I finish a project, I always end up with like these little balls of yarn, and I don't know what to do with them because you can't really make a whole new, well, I guess you can, from them. So I just chuck them all in one bag, and then when I need maybe a scrap yarn, I go and get one of them to use. But this time I decided to do the best I can with them, and then I've knitted socks. So I've got this much to finish this sister sock. I finished the heel, I finished the cuff and the heel, so now I'm knitting the foot. So maybe in about an hour, if I sit with it, I can finish it. And then I know that I have another finished project. But I was too excited about these guys. Let me get all of them in one. I was too excited about these guys. Oh my goodness, these colors are just... So, if you follow me on Instagram, now you know that I've been watching Constance from Yarning Over the Days and also Fruity Knitting pretty much every day. I've been on Alice's Starmore Virtual Yarns website every day for the last 2 weeks. Also on Marie Wallin and obviously Jamieson and Smith's website, looking at all their yarn and all their masterpieces, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, these creations are just work of art. And I really want to knit a let me see if I can get it. I want to knit a jacket by Marie Wallin, and I have it here. Let me show it to you so I don't. That one is the Yell, and it's a cropped version, but I want to make it into a long, well, not too long, maybe just above my knees jacket style that I could wear through spring and autumn. So I'm looking at all the yarns that are recommended, and the whole jacket will come to about 150 pounds, money-wise I mean, just the yarn, and probably the work that I will have to put in it. The jacket will end up costing kind of like 500 pounds or something, which is crazy. And what I've decided to do is maybe buy the yarn like monthly. So this month maybe I buy all the colors, next month I buy maybe the dark gray, and then the following month I buy the light gray, and then when I have all the yarn together, then I can start knitting this jacket, because it will be a work of art. It just amazes me. But it's too expensive. Anyway, to kind of like satisfy that hunger for knitting Fair Isle, I went on to Shetland Wool Week website, and I saw that they had a free pattern there, and it was the Katie's Cap, I think you call it, for the Shetland Wool Week for this year. Even though it's been cancelled, they have the free pattern there, and I wanted to knit the hat, and I ordered all those colors. I didn't stick to the color that the designer recommended, and maybe it wasn't such a great idea because my work looks a little bit muddy, but it's my first one and I can accept it. So I wanted a gray background, and I wanted some muted colors, and as you can see, they're really muted. You can't really see the flowers that much. I love the corrugated ribbing. I did adjust it a little bit, I made it a little bit wider than it was suggested. And then yesterday I knitted about this much here, and I realized I didn't do the increases after the ribbing. So I had to rip all that back and start again. And when I started over, I changed the colors a little bit. So this one was green initially, and then I changed it into white, thinking it would pop more. It doesn't as much, but oh well, I should have gone for this color as a background. But anyway, for the future, I know. So this is where I'm at now. I'm ready to do the second flower section, and then I'll start shaping the crown. And I'm most excited about the top, because the top ends up being a star. So that's where the design really shows. It looks a bit, I tried it on and it looks a bit big. Let me try it on for you. Oops. I mean, the cuff is perfect. It fits perfectly. But then the rest is just a bit big. There you go. Maybe I should wear it like this. I really like it. I've been enjoying knitting it. It's such a challenge, and I've been ripping back a lot because you can't watch TV while you knit Fair Isle. I mean, I can't, maybe because I'm new to it, but I made like a little poem for each round that I go for. So for example, one row here says knit 2 white, knit 3 dark, knit 2 white, knit 1 dark, knit 2 white. So I kind of go like 3 2 1 2 3 2 1 2 3 2 1 2, and I repeat that in my head to stop from like messing up and having to rip back. But yeah, oops, there's a yarn there. So that is my Katie's cap in not the best color combination, but I like it. I think once I do the crown, it will kind of go like this. Maybe slouch a bit. I don't know, but I love it. And the yarn I got is Jameson, I don't know if I said, it's Jameson & Smith 2-ply jumper weight, and I bought it from Wild and Woolly. And I would like to thank the ladies from Wild and Woolly because I ordered it today, well not today, but I ordered it Monday and it came on Tuesday. And I didn't even pay for like fast delivery or anything. So I ordered it in the morning, and then in the afternoon I got an email saying that they've dispatched it, and the next day it came with Royal Mail, and I was like, oh, my yarn is here. I dropped my socks, I dropped the next project that I'll show you, and I started straight on with the corrugated ribbon, finished it that day, and then the next day I knitted the Fair Isle, the rest that I had to frog. Anyway, that's a different story. So yeah, maybe next time I'll go with more contrasting colors so it shows more. But for now, this is what I've got. And I think when it blocks, maybe it will be smoother. We shall see. And I've got one more project that I want to show you. And when I mentioned the cowl that I made, that is the softest yarn ever, it's soft, very, very soft, but this one is even softer. And this one I think is from Dyer Supplier. It's an American website that Knit Crate collaborated with for May, I've got fluff, for May 2020 because they couldn't get their hand-dyed yarn in the Knit Crate. So they've done a blank canvas month where they sent you the wool, the bare wool, and Kool-Aid to dye the wool with. And I've done that, I videoed it, so I will pop it down in the description if you want to see how I achieved this version of my yarn. It's beautiful. It's completely safe to do it at home, no chemicals, just easy. You will get a bit of stain on your fingers that washes off throughout the day. But yeah, this is my yarn, and I have 2 skeins. It's a combination of pinks, oranges and yellows, and I achieved it with using Kool-Aid orange and cherry. I think if you have grape, it might go a bit purple, and if you have lime, it might go a bit green. I'm not sure, but this is what I had, and we can't really get Kool-Aid here in the UK, so I couldn't do other colors. I just went ahead and did the same. And I've done my skeins separately, but they look pretty much identical. So I didn't alternate for my project. A few episodes ago, I showed you, I was wearing one of my raglan t-shirts that I didn't have a pattern for. I had my notes, so I wanted to knit one and kind of finish the pattern. Is the one that, it was like a gray color, the one that had these decorations on the raglan. See if you can see. It's kind of like a lacy detail with like a swirly thing down. And this is how much I've done so far. So I just started the raglan increases going down towards the underarm. So soft. I don't think I have enough yarn to make it long sleeves or 3/4 sleeves, so it will probably end up being another t-shirt like I've been knitting all these months, all through lockdown. Lockdown was knitting t-shirts for me. But I wanted to knit it because I have a skirt, a linen skirt that is more like a rusty orange, and I think this will look really nice with it. So yeah, I'm writing the pattern for this, so keep an eye on my Ravelry. We'll see how it goes. but it's just a simple t-shirt. All you need to do is knit, pearls, do German short rows, but they're well explained in the pattern, and this design is very easy to do as well, just increases, decreases and yarn overs to make it decorative. So yeah, those are the 3 things on my needles. My legs are killing me now because I'm sitting on them, but I have a few more things to show you in the next segment, so I'm going to go stretch my legs and show you a few more things. So I've got pins and needles, but let's power through this. Just a few more things I want to show you. I didn't show you my sock blockers on YouTube. I've posted pictures of them on my Instagram and Facebook, but these are the ones that I have, and I waited for them for about a month and a half, I think. When I started knitting my 2 skeins 4 pairs set of socks, I wanted some nice sock blockers that I can use to photograph the pictures, because I don't like to photograph me wearing them. I think feet, no. So I wanted some nice sock blockers to use for the pictures, and I found these ones on Etsy, and I will link them down below. They're very nice, very well made, and what I like the most about them is that they're adjustable. So you have this cord here, and you take it off, and you can adjust them to the size that you want, and then you just put the cord over here to keep it tight. So you can make all kinds of different sizes. I have quite small feet, so I pretty much keep them like the smallest size. If I knit for my husband, then obviously I'll have to make it bigger. They're just perfect, and I really like them. So those are my sock blockers that I waited for them quite a long time, but I'm really happy with them. And blocking my socks has been a lot better now, especially if I do lace work. It's easier to block the lace on the sock blockers. And another thing that I wanted to show you is a bit more yarn. So I got all my Jamieson & Smith yarns from Wild and Woolly, and I had 2 skeins of Mondim yarn from the same shop, and I like Wild and Woolly. They're really nice, and I like the ladies there. I had these 2 skeins from a previous order to make a jumper with, but it would only be enough for a short sleeve, and I wanted to make a long sleeve because I don't have a long sleeve jumper in my like design collection. So these 2 weren't enough, and then I discovered a whole world of stranded knitting. So I realized that Wild and Woolly had new stock of Mondim yarn, and I bought some more. I bought 3 just undyed ones because I figured it would look nice with this one, more like a wintry Christmassy feel. So I have the natural with, it's like a rusty, it looks different on the camera, but it's a rusty browny red, and this is just like an off-white creamy. I think those 2 will look really nice, and I really like this yarn. It's such a gorgeous feel. I've done my Vara tee, I've done a C1 tee with it. So yeah, I want to knit more with this yarn because it's gorgeous. And then I saw that I had 1 skein of these. This was the only one left, but I've always eyed these color, these color ones, and these are my favorite from it. It's got greens, like olive greens, kind of like purpley reds, and I love it. The shade is 208. This is Portuguese wool from Retrosaria. I did look on their website to see if I can order it from there, but I didn't want to do too much of like long distance shipping these days. So I waited until Wild and Woolly stocked up, and this was the only one left, and I got it. So I'm thinking to knit something with these three, and then either knit something with these three as well, or maybe, I don't know, maybe just these two and make some socks with this one. But this is my Mondim stash. See if I can hold them all together for the camera. There they go, the beauties. So yeah, that is all I wanted to show you for today. I want to mention a few people I've been watching these days. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, I've been watching Yarning Over the Days, Constance. She does amazing knitting. Some of her color work is just gorgeous. Also Jay's Pearl Jam, Knitting Pearl Jam, Jay's Knitting Pearl Jam. I've been watching her for long. She's an amazing teacher. She teaches a lot of crochet as well. I don't do crochet as much, but I just like to watch her. She's such a kind lady, such a lovely lady that I enjoy watching once in a while. Also, I've been watching Fruity Knitting, so I've gone through quite a few of their episodes now. It's kind of like a show. It's not just a knitting podcast, it's more like a show, and I like the way that Andrew comes and explains all the you know, like the facts. They were talking about a castle, and he was giving all the history background for the castle. They do interviews with amazing designers, and their knitting is amazing as well. So I've been watching them. That is all I had for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed everything I showed you. If you would like to knit any of my patterns, either contact me on email. Also, you can find them on Ravelry and Etsy. I have a little bit of wool to sell on Etsy that I've dyed with avocado and turmeric, if you're interested in that. Also, I have some new teaching videos coming out. I've done 2 already on Learn to Knit. So if you're a beginner knitter, or if you want to learn how to knit from the beginning, then I've done a really slow demonstration of the cast on, knit stitch, purl stitch. So we're going to go through different stitches in the future, and then we're going to incorporate those stitches into projects. So far we've done 2 stitches that can be used for scarves, and I kind of give you a little bit of an explanation of how to knit your own scarf using those 2 stitches, garter stitch and 1x1 rib. So yeah, that's all I have to update you on. Keep an eye on my Instagram to see how my hat turns out. And also, I'm excited to get my yarn for Altogether sweater to knit it. But yeah, let me know what you're up to in the comments down below. If you have any questions, comment down below or email me. Send me a DM on Instagram or on Facebook, and I'll help you as much as I can. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.